Good morning, student. This video we will deal with a short story written by R.K. Narayan, named as The Gateman Gift. So, before we start, just have a brief introduction to the story. The story, entitled The Gatesman Gift, is a typical story of Narayan's. The detail of the story: the poor gatekeeper, simple sense of duty, his childlike delight in the hobby he takes up after retirement, the loyalty with which he regularly makes a present of his handiworks to the Sahib, the terror that drives him mad when he receives a registered letter, his return to sanity when at last he finds that it is a letter of commendation for his superior. All these are narrated with superb skill. These details of the story arouse in us a laughter or tear or both. The author has turned Gateman Govind Singh into a unforgettable character. It's a very interesting story. Deals with the main character Gobind Singh. Just have a brief characterization of Gobind Singh. As we know, Gobind Singh was a gatesman to a factory. Some of his character qualities are as per: first, an unforgettable character as a gateman, simple, innocent, and timid. Let's have a detailed description of his character. As I said, an unforgettable character, the Gateman Gift is a typical story of Narayan. The gatekeeper Govind Singh, an illiterate but simple, honest, dutiful man. After war service, he works at England, India as a gatekeeper and retires after long service. He is granted a pension of 12 rupees a month. After retirement, he takes up the work of making clay models. The loyalty with which he regularly makes a present of his handiwork to the Sahib. The terror that drives him mad when he receives a registered letter. He returns to sanity when at last he finds it is a letter of commendation from his superior. All these are narrated with super skill, arousing in us laughter or tear, or we can call it both. The author had turned the gatesman into an unforgettable character. Govind Singh As an gateman, it is also a quality that he was fully devoted to his duty. As we know, after war service, he became a gatesman at Englandia. He liked his job very much and worked very sincerely. He was punctual, honest, and alert. He would respectfully salute the chief manager and kept a sharp eye on the staff who came in and went out. He felt pride in putting on a khaki uniform, a resplendent band across his shoulder, and a short stick while on duty. He regarded the manager to be a god to him. He felt extremely happy when the manager spoke to him in person. So devoted, so obedient, and so humble creature is difficult to be found in the modern world as Govind Singh was. He felt electrified when his master spoke to him only on two occasions. Once he was appointed, and second time after 25 years when he was granted pension. Third major character quality of his character is simple, innocent, and timid. Govind Singh was a very simple and innocent person. He had never done anything wrong which would put a blood on his career. He was dutiful and alert gatekeeper. He was granted a pension of 12 rupees a month for his good services. He lived a contented life though he was poor. His wife worked as a domestic servant and earned something. With a small pension and his wife earning, he lived a happy, content life. On the pension receiving day, he would put on his uniform and go to office, received pension, talked respectfully to the accountant, and took chance to salute the manager when he stepped in his car. Another Govind Singh's quality, or we can say it, twist in the story begins with the gift. As we know, Govind Singh was illiterate and had a God given gift. He could make toy with clay and sawdust. He never knew that he had this gift till a child came to him to mend his broken doll. He not only repaired it but made a new thing of it. It is then that the retired gateman discovered his gift. His backyard gave him plenty of plant clay. He could easily got sawdust in a carpenter's shop. He brought paint for a few ants. He sat in front of his house and made various models of clay. His clay models were a wonderful miniature reflection of the world. He mounted them neatly on thin wooden slices. He could sell them easily at his cousin's cigarette shop. He presented a model to his manager every time he went to the office on the pensions day. Govind Singh, supposed fear of the registered letter, put an end to his creative talent. His creative talent was commanded by his chief manager. He was given a check of 100 rupees as an encouragement to keep up his interesting hobby. But he did not make any toys. He said to the accountant, "Never again, never again. It is no occupation for a sane man." Thus, we find that Govind Singh's character is a mixture of humility, ignorance, submissiveness, and loyalty. He was proud that his career had been spotless. He was simple and ignorant. His image feared on receiving a registered letter drove him almost to the madness. The office accountant luckily met him and he tore upon the letter and told him about his contents. He assured him that he was not mad and he looked quite well. He soon well as before. The desire to make clay models died. He thought that it was no occupation for a sane man. After receiving a registered letter from his office, he became very disturbed. He did not open the letter. He feared that his chief manager was very angry with him. He had stopped his pension. This fear turned him almost mad. In his madness, he looked down on this model. He raised his foot and stamped everything down into the multicolored jam. There we still half fat. He saw a donkey gazing in the street. He gathered up the jam and flung it at the donkey with the remark, "Eat this if you like. It is a nice village." And he went out again. This was a quieter outing. He stood on at an even pace, breathing deeply. He moved about the street almost like a madman. Luckily, the accountant in his office met him. He knew about the content of the letter the manager had sent him. It was a letter of appreciation for his handwork, and a check for a rupee 100 was also enclosed as a reward and encouragement for his interesting hobby. This knowledge made him normal. He thanked accountant, but he never again made a clay model.